आपने देखा होगा, जैसे ही कोई कहता है सरकारी दफ्तर, तो आपके मन में फाइलों के ढेर की तस्वीर बन जाती है। आपने फिल्मों में भी ऐसा ही कुछ देखा होगा। सरकारी दफ्तरों में इन फाइलों के ढेर पर कितने ही मजाक बनते रहते हैं, कितनी कहानियां लिखी जा चुकी है। बरसों बरस तक ये फाइलें ऑफिस में पड़े पड़े धूल से भर जाती थी, वहां गंदगी होने लगती थी। ऐसी दशकों पुरानी फाइलों और स्क्रैप को हटाने के लिए एक विशेष स्वच्छता अभियान चलाया गया। आपको ये जानकर खुशी होगी कि सरकारी विभागों में इस अभियान के अद्भुत परिणाम सामने आए हैं।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की स्वच्छता के प्रति दृढ़ संकल्प से प्रेरित होकर स्वच्छता अभियान 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 और 4.0 की सफलता के बाद अब 5.0 शुरू हो चुका है। स्वच्छता अभियान 5.0 2 चरणों में पूरा होगा, जिसका प्रारंभिक चरण 15 सितंबर से शुरू होकर 30 सितंबर को खत्म होगा। अभियान के प्रारंभिक चरण के दौरान लंबित मामले की पहचान किए जाने से लेकर नोडल अधिकारियों का नामांकन, स्थान प्रबंधन योजना, रिकॉर्ड प्रबंधन, स्क्रैप और ई वेस्ट की पहचान और निपटान प्रक्रियाओं को अंतिम रूप देना शामिल है। स्वच्छता अभियान 5.0 का मुख्य चरण 2 अक्टूबर को महात्मा गांधी की जयंती से शुरू होगा और सरदार पटेल की जयंती यानी 31 अक्टूबर 2025 तक चलेगा। इस दौरान स्वच्छता अभियान स्थलों की पहचान करना, कार्यालय स्वच्छता और सौंदर्यीकरण, ई कचरे का निपटान के साथ ही फाइलों की समीक्षा, छंटनी और ई फाइलों को बंद करना शामिल है। 2021 में शुरू होने के बाद से पिछले 4 वर्षों में इस अभियान के तहत करीब 12.04 लाख सरकारी कार्यालयों और प्रवासी भारतीय मिशनों में सफलतापूर्वक यह अभियान चलाया गया। इस दौरान 696.27 लाख वर्ग फुट जगह को खाली कराया गया और इनका समुचित इस्तेमाल किया गया। साथ ही इसके जरिए 3296.71 करोड़ रुपए का राजस्व भी इकट्ठा किया गया और 137.86 लाख फाइलों को बंद किया गया। स्वच्छता अभियान 5.0 की प्रगति की निगरानी के लिए SCDPM 5.0 पोर्टल तैयार किया गया है, जो इस अभियान की सफलता और कामयाबी को सुनिश्चित करता है।
स्वच्छता अभियान के तहत हमने पुरानी फाइलों को वीड आउट किया और ज़रूरी दस्तावेजों को हमने डिजिटल फॉर्म में सुरक्षित कर लिया। अब हमें इससे काम करने में भी काफ़ी सुविधा का अनुभव होता है।
इस अभियान के दौरान पुराने और बेकार फर्नीचर और 6000 से भी ज़्यादा पुरानी फाइलों को वीड आउट किया गया, जिससे कार्यालय परिसर में एक्स्ट्रा जगह प्राप्त हुई।
हमारा संकल्प है कि स्वच्छता 5.0 के माध्यम से सरकारी कामकाज को और पारदर्शी, कुशल और जनहितैषी बनाया जाए।
CMPDI रांची में बेकार सामग्री से बनी हिरण की ये प्यारी मूर्तियां या फिर JNARTDC नागपुर में वेस्ट एल्यूमिनियम से बनी सुंदर कलाकृति हो, ऐसी अनेक कलाकृतियां कबाड़ से तैयार मनमोहक कलाकृति के अद्भुत नमूने हैं, जो स्वच्छता अभियान की सफलता की कहानी बयां करते हैं। प्रशासनिक सुधार और लोक शिकायत विभाग ने नियमित स्वच्छता अभियान के जरिए इसे संस्थागत रूप देकर इसकी निरंतरता को बरकरार रखा है। DARPG द्वारा 24 संस्करणों में तैयार होने वाले सचिवालय सुधार की मासिक रिपोर्ट और 84 से अधिक मंत्रालयों और विभागों ने ई-ऑफिस 7.0 अपनाकर स्वच्छता अभियान लगातार बेहतर से बेहतरीन किया है।
स्वच्छता मोदी जी ने ना केवल इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज किया, ना केवल इसे जन आंदोलन बनाया, बल्कि हमारे जीवन में इसका एक हमारे रहन सहन के कल्चर में, हमारी संस्कृति का भी इसे हिस्सा बनाया और हमें भी धीरे धीरे अनुभव होने लगा। प्रतिवर्ष पहले हमने फाइलों तक से शुरू किया, यहीं नॉर्थ ब्लॉक में 50-60 हज़ार फाइलें डिस्पोज ऑफ की गई और इसी तरह से बहुत सारी स्पेस जब ऑक्यूपाइड थी, उसको जब वेकेट किया गया तो इतने हज़ार स्क्वायर फुट जगह अवेलेबल हो गई जहां बड़े बड़े मॉल बनाए जा सकते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी इमारतें बनाई जा सकती हैं और बहुत सारे कार्यालयों ने इनका बड़ा सदुपयोग किया।
Namaskar and a very warm welcome to Governance at Work. We are at IIPA. I am Rakhi Bakshi. Today we are bringing to you this very special and insightful conversation on Special Campaign 5.0, a flagship initiative by the Government of India envisioned under the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. This special campaign has evolved through the time, and now from the emphasis on Swachhata, it is also talking about the whole administrative ethos which is deep rooted in governance. Started on October 2nd, 2025 this time. This also talks about the whole idea of environmental responsibility, the emphasis on efficiency, cleanliness within offices and outside, and also bring about a whole culture of Swachhata. We are calling it Swachhotsav. And to talk about more on this and about the details of this special campaign 5.0, we are now have in the studio a very special guest with us here. We are talking right now to the Secretary of DARPG, Shri V, Srinivas, who is here in the studio, sir, and also the Director General of IIPA, Shri S.N. Tripathi ji. So we are going to talk about the whole idea of special campaign and what it aims to do. So we'll begin by asking Shri V. Srinivas, sir, what are the idea and objectives of this special campaign 5.2 and how are we going to really lead this program further?
The special campaign for institutionalizing Swachhata and reducing pendency in government is the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji to take forward a model of maximum governance, minimum government, wherein which there is considerable ease of living, aesthetically pleasant office spaces, and a conducive work environment where maximum efficiency can be delivered. There are specific monitorable targets under this campaign, which is grounded in the Central Secretariat Manual of Office Procedures for record management practices, as also for the other parameters of the campaign like redressal of public grievances, timely disposal of pending references like Members of Parliament references. In addition, there is a Swachhata component of it, which now has been enlarged to cover almost 20 lakh office spaces. So the special campaigns which were initiated from 2021 till the fifth campaign now in 2025 would be covering almost 20 lakh office spaces. This year's campaign is perhaps the largest ever campaign for Swachhata in the history of India, and it would be covering 7.32 lakh office spaces. The trends that we have received in the first week of the implementation phase have been extremely encouraging, and under the supervision of Honorable Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Dr. Jiten Singh ji, this campaign is going to scale new heights and achieve new learning paradigms. By the end of it, the campaign begins on the Mahatma Jayanti on October 2nd, and goes on till Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's Jayanti on 31st of October. The best practices are going to be presented as part of Sushasan Saptah from December 19th to 24th, 2025.
Sir, as far as the theme of this special campaign 5.0 is concerned, the theme is waste to wealth. So talking about the details here, we are trying to actually also focus on resource optimization. How would you look at it, sir?
See, let me first compliment the DRPG and the Government of India. We are also part to it for taking Swachhata as a movement. Earlier we started from tap to toilet. We switched over to office. Now we are taking it as a good governance initiative. How governance can become more accountable, how governance can be more responsive. And if you look at the bigger point of view, as Mr. Srinivas was highlighting, with the point of view of minimum government and maximum governance, Swachhata becomes a part of our work culture. You should stay fit, your office should be clean, nothing should be pending at your level, and look citizen as Nagarik Devo Bhav. All these things require you to be presentable, you to be present in time, you to be nothing pending at your level, neither Radhe Radhe na Radhe Radhe, what we call it corruptionless. We also say it neither in line but online, not in queue but in QR code. We are taking administration to the next level. So it is this sense of accountability, it is very heightened sense of transparency that Swachhata 5.0 need to be welcomed and understood in that light. And I would also like to compliment that e-office has only digitized the governance. But how e-office disposes the decisions or communicate the decision, that will be to the benefit of people of India. And it is here that removal of about 12 million files and then taking it to the next level for every office becomes online. Every office responds at the switch of button or at speed of light to the need and demand of citizen of India. This is a very new Swachhata. It's a Swachhata 0.5, but it's Swachhata should be understood in its entirety. And therefore, this concept need to be complemented and much more to the department. In fact, we are grateful to the Prime Minister. We are also grateful to our Minister DOPT, who is also the chairman of IIPA. And recently, we had a vigorous campaign on these themes regarding dealing with the waste, especially the e-waste and many other things that we can share it. But it's a very commendable initiative to bring citizen closer to the government by using Swachhata as a tool. Nobody thought that it can become a tool for mobilization of public support, including within office and outside. And enormous effort has been made, and it is a task to be seen to be believed.
In fact, recently we saw at IIPA itself also, sir, there were foreign participants who were there as part of one training program, but they also interestingly took part in it very enthusiastically.
In fact, Honorable Minister just hinted them, would you like to join? About 38 participants of 19 countries said they voluntarily not only joined, they cleaned the dirt within the premises, and they were so overwhelmed that India, a country of India's size, is taking Swachhata in its right earnest, both inside and outside.
We are talking actually about the ideas, the big ideas and initiatives and activities which are really taking place all across the ministries. The whole idea is to embed that culture of cleanliness all across, sir. So how is it happening?
The Honorable Prime Minister's vision has been to translate what are government schemes into enormous societal developmental projects. And that vision is being translated into reality under the leadership of Dr. Jiten Singh Ji. And he has visited so many offices. Right now, the Director General IIPA has cited the case study of several students, civil servants who have come under the ITEC program to join in. Similarly, across the nation, saturation approach has been adopted to cover attached offices, subordinate offices, autonomous bodies, military establishments, as also overseas missions and posts. So the campaign today is being implemented across all schools. We have students taking part in the campaign. We have, Amrit Samvad is going on across all railway stations, wherein which senior officials from Ministry of Railways redress public grievances on the spot. So thousands of passengers participate in the Amrit Samvad. Similar lines, Dak Samvad has been commenced by, Dak Chaupal has been commenced by Ministry of Posts. So across Government of India, there have been efforts to reach out to citizens to ensure that grievance redressal becomes a timely, accessible and meaningful manner. In the same time, there has been a lot of focus on Swachhata. For example, the use of brooms has been completely eliminated by railways. In fact, when you see mechanized cleaning practices, you find mechanized cleaning practices using drone have been introduced across several railway stations, in addition to mechanized cleaning being introduced in many institutions. Most hospitals have introduced mechanized cleaning. So very advanced practices have been brought into the Swachhata campaign. So increasingly, when I see the trends, it is not only a G2G campaign that we started with in select offices of Delhi, but it has spread into a people's movement across the nation, where thousands and thousands of citizens are participating in the activity.
Since you're talking about some of the new tools, there is what we are watching here is that new technological tools have also been adopted. So we are seeing new tools, for example, the shredder machine that we saw that day when we were there at the program. So many of such tools are also now available to help us in this whole idea of cleanliness. What would you say, sir?
Yes, indeed. If you have to shred 5,000 files which have been weeded out as part of under the record retention schedule, it would take with ordinary shredders a huge amount of time. So you need a heavy duty shredder to actually shred so much volume of paper. A paperless office is what is the objective, and digitization has been the key. E-office has been a game changer in terms of creating paperless institutions. The same way we also had, in addition to shredding of records, there's also been a lot of archiving of records. And an exhibition called Sushasan or Abhilekh was launched by the Honorable Culture Minister, DRPG, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, National Archives of India, curated this exhibition in which those documents that were of historical value transferred from ministries to the National Archives of India have been presented. So more than 100,000 files were displayed as part of this exhibition.
So as far as innovative techniques are concerned, and that's what I meant when I asked about some of the modern tools which are also being used here to spread this whole idea and message of cleanliness all across, not only within offices but outside as well, sir. So would you say something more about this, how this is being done?
In fact, they were never dearth of tool, but it was a question of habits. Government is changing the habits of bureaucrat, habits how offices are managed, how records are kept, how paper files need to be disposed of, converted into e-file. So many more instruments are needed, but if the habit don't change, we will again revert back to the same. So therefore, I don't believe that shredder or no shredder, you can still be up to date. But we have become a legacy institution that there is no sense of urgency, let it happen, we will do it in due course. Now we have got a sense of urgency. You do it, better do it, be it grievance of the citizen, be it grievance from higher officers, be it redressal of any other nature. You can't just sit over and procrastinate on the ground that you don't have the file. Today with e-office, every file is at your fingertips. So we can't avoid taking decision. And that is the advantage of using technology for delivering governance to the people of India. Therefore, Swachhata or transparency or in the end accountability is the end result which will ensure good governance. With technology, without technology also, there are certain things can happen without technology. Say a citizen comes to my office, if I greet him with a smile, this does not require technology. But if I scold him despite technology, that doesn't change my behavior, and that is where this Swachhata campaign is making a dent. Ministries like railways, ministerial departments like post, they are doing wonderful work in being citizen-centric, being citizen-friendly. Maybe initial activity is Swachhata, but later on this is bridging the gap between citizen and government. And that is the big takeaway that I take from this special campaign 5.0. And watching it for the last 4 years, it appears to be that we are going in the right direction with better force, full force, and good monitoring.
So talking about grievance redressal, much has been done. You were talking about record management, also weeding out, things which are not needed, but how pendency of matters are also being focused upon, sir.
Public grievance redressal has been a big focus area of this campaign, and when multiple grievance platforms function in unison, you have the railways, Rail Madad working with it, Ministry of Consumer Affairs has their grievance redressal platform, DRPG has CPgrams as the One Nation, One Portal platform. So more than 6 lakh public grievances are going to be disposed in these 4 weeks. And the average timeline for disposal of grievances during the campaign period is on an average less than 10 days. So it is a phenomenal kind of rapidity with which decisions are taken, and also the mobilization across ministries and departments has been considerable. The leadership being shown by all the secretaries to Government of India as also by the ministers has been quite amazing to watch, and it has brought a cumulative force multiplier effect into the campaign.
Are there case studies, success stories, specific, sir, that you would like to highlight and share with us here?
The Honorable Prime Minister has repeatedly been monitoring the campaign, and also the Cabinet Secretary reviews the campaign on a weekly basis. So a number of case studies and best practices have been presented as part of this campaign. So in many ministries and departments, the space that has been vacated has been converted into welfare measures. For example, gymnasiums have been set up, or cafeteria have been set up, In addition, yoga centers have been set up. I recall in the first campaign, the Rejuve Yoga Center was set up in the Department of Land Resources, and also a cafeteria was set up, Firangi Pani, in the Department of Posts. Thereafter, there have been more advances in that Ministry of Railways came up with number of rail coaches which have been transformed into cafeteria, which are very thriving business centers and hubs right now. And also we've seen the attack on single-use plastic. That has been quite significant. Plastic Rakshasas for awareness generation, conservation of lithographs and archival material across major institutions. These are areas that have been pursued. And further, we have also seen Vidyanjali, which is a society that has been established by the Department of School Education. Since the focus of the campaign is e-waste, they collect e-waste, refurbish it and recirculate it back into the economy. So the 3 R's approach of reuse, recycle has been fully brought and operationalized under this campaign. Ministry of Environment and Forest has been an integral player because they are the ones who set the guidelines for monitoring e-waste, and they have identified procurement agencies who handle e-waste in such a large quantity and quantum.
So you were talking about behavioral change. So how can we bring collective strength? We are also talking about government to citizen, a citizen-centric governance in which everyone participates. How are we really spreading this whole message and idea of cleanliness?
But the biggest chief communicator in chief is our Prime Minister himself. When he talks about Swachhata, when he talks about Ijjat Ghar, when he talks about timely disposal of public grievances, the message is heard and listened. I'm delighted that this even Swachhata campaign was mentioned in one of the Man Ki Baat campaign by the Honorable Prime Minister. So when he mentions certain initiative of a department or of his government, it gives a lot of fillip to the person or people who are involved in that area. Like Rail Madad, which was highlighted, or Vidyanjali that was highlighted. These are not usual initiative of ministry. Now we have been persuaded by the Honorable Prime Minister to think keeping citizen in the center, not government in the center. When you put citizen in the center, you devise new means of serving the same citizen in very, very innovative way. Swachhata, accountability, as I was highlighting, and when maybe approaching the grievances of the people, we don't do in technical grievance redressal, that your grievance is nothing, no action is needed. Now people are reading the grievance, reading the meaning behind the grievance, trying to sort it out. In fact, even feedback is there. So this feedback loop keeps the citizen not only happy, but makes him believe that somebody is watching. Somebody is watching that bureaucrats do not give technical compliance, but give a satisfactory compliance. And that is where grievance system, apart from using technology, it has the human touch as well. So we need a combination of technology and empathy, technology and human touch. And that is what makes this campaign slightly different from earlier campaign. It is not a jhadu lagao and keep the dust out of it or transfer the dust from your office to the street. Rather, as he was saying, that recycle, reuse and make it sustainable. So there are a lot of institutional building that Honorable Secretary has initiated. I think I would request him to highlight on institutionalizing this Swachhata campaign.
In fact, I would say, sir, the Honorable Prime Minister has been very passionate about it. And I think the way every time he has focused on how to create that culture of cleanliness, how every person, every citizen should get involved. How would you really look at it in terms of this month-long campaign which is taking place right now?
Yes, indeed. It is the leadership from the top that has enabled such a massive campaign to be implemented on a pan-India basis that covers from Jammu Kashmir to Kerala, from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat. Across the nation, everybody is aware of it and also participating actively in it. I also see several overseas missions and posts that have been part of it. And not only have they become part of it, that many ministries and departments have trained their records officers at the School of Archival Studies to improve records management practices. Many ministries and departments have trained the grievance redressal officers on the CPGram portal to understand how an AI-enabled portal can be operationalized and to bring speedy justice to citizens. At the same time, ministries and departments have also examined what is the best way in which record rooms can be improved, and they have placed a lot of effort in improving record rooms. In fact, ministries with very large volumes of records like CBDT, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Environment and Forests, DOPT, where the quantum of record is so large, but each record has been docketed, has a covering page wherein which you can retrieve the documents, and they has been screened and reviewed in a manner where only the meaningful and relevant record is being archived. The rest of the record, which has to be phased out, has been phased out. So the transformation of record rooms in Government of India is phenomenal. In fact, I recall visiting one of my neighbors, the next door rooms after the Swachhta campaign, and I just could not believe the quantum of space that had been generated in that room. In fact, I was wondering, is this the same room that was there till yesterday? So many chairs, for example, which have been outdated, have been replaced. Our own conference room in DRPG, we have replaced 120 chairs which have outlived the longevity. So you suddenly find sparkling new offices, a new enthusiasm and a new work culture that is being set in. And this actually represents one of the strongest foundations for Viksit Bharat at 2047. Our quest to be a developed nation will necessitate long work hours, dedication. All of these are possible when you have a very conducive office environment.
So you were talking about the scrap disposal, and it is also leading to the revenue being earned. And that's something which is very positive and a very optimistic direction that we are looking at.
Yes, indeed. In fact, the special campaigns, one of the big highlights has been the quantum of revenue that has been earned. In the 4 special campaigns that we have implemented from 2021 to 2025, the scrap disposal alone earned 3,296 crores. So it's a huge amount of revenue that we could generate from timely scrap disposal through a monitored campaign. Because the campaign is monitored on a portal with nodal officers updating data on a daily basis, it is easy to follow who is contributing to the campaign. Also, it is very visible on social media through PIB statements. More than 150 PIB statements have been issued. More than 6,000 social media posts on Twitter have been issued, as also on terms of LinkedIn, Facebook. So the campaign on a G2G basis has had tremendous traction. Thereafter, we also see that not only have we earned a lot of revenue, but we have also ensured that a lot of refurbishing of e-waste was also possible under this campaign. But let me emphasize, for example, Department of Military Affairs disposed a huge number of automobile scrap in addition to electronic scrap like laptops, desktops, photocopiers. In addition to these, there was a lot of automobile scrap also that has gone out as part of this campaign.
So we are calling it Swachhotsav, which means that we are celebrating it as a festival, part of the tradition of our country also, where we put a lot of emphasis on Swachhata. So how would you look at this whole mass participation of everyone, the collective strength that you're watching here, sir?
See, Swachhata was a gift to the father of the nation, as Prime Minister promised from Lal Killa. It started with construction of toilet. Now, going to the office, from normal office to Kartavya Bhavan, is not a small shift, it is a mega shift in how bureaucracy should perform and should live and do its duty toward the citizen. Now, with all the initiative, it has become, India is very prone to Utsav. So, making Swachhata as a Swachhotsav is a very innovative way to associate people along with the festivities. Take it not as a burden, but as a cleanliness. Like we all know that during Diwali, during many other festivals, you clean your surrounding, clean your house. Why not clean your office? Why not convert into a Utsav? Why don't you convert into the way you would like to be looked at by the citizen of India? So converting into Utsav like Bachat Utsav with GST reduction, by converting into people's movement, we give a message that it is not a one-off affair. It is going to be a regular affair. And we are doing it not only voluntarily, with happy to help attitude or happy to deliver attitude. It makes the Swachh Utsav and it makes acceptability a little better. And then it creates a nexus of good. Those who are little less reluctant to join this movement, they also join, because after all we are cleaning the same space which we are going to use it. As Secretary was telling that so much of revenue has been earned. The space that waste was occupying, that space has also been cleaned and cleared. I think millions of square feet of built up space has been freed for office use. So this is dual use. Not only we freed the space for better office use, but also earned money out of it. And now it has become a regular habit that every 2 years you should dispose all your waste so that you will get better value realization as well as use it for new purposes. And refurbishing is also as a part of the whole thing.
So more productivity as we see, sir, but any message as we are now wrapping up this program?
Yes, it is an inspiring campaign, and I would request all the ministries and departments, all nodal officers to actively participate in it, to realize the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister for a Viksit Bharat at 2047, and this represents one of the foundational steps to take this movement forward.
Any other thoughts, sir, or especially about the acceleration of the momentum as it is really taking place?
I would like to request that take the Swachhata place and believe it and do it. 100 hours is not a very big time that every citizen should spend. Now we are asking every officer to spend at least 3 hours in a week to keep his office or her office surroundings clean and disposal level at the highest level. So if this becomes a habit, then it will be easier and more sustainable. And perhaps that is where we should emphasize. And most of the ministries and under the dynamic leadership of DARPG and web-based monitoring and social media users, we are not going to look back, we are going to only move forward. So this Swachhotsav is going to be more a habit than a one-off occasion.
So thank you so much, both of you, sir, because you have shared a lot and, of course, giving us all the details related to Special Campaign 5.0. There have been such interesting insights for all of us to not only watch, but also follow and implement. And that's the whole idea as we evolve and progress into Special Campaign 5.0. And we continue to bring you more conversations, more interviews, and more insights on this platform as we say namaskar once again. Thank you.